Alright, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Alright, this is about the Cabal. I read it. Now, I'm a little confused here, but it's like I read something called the Kabbalion. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I'm just gonna let y'all know what I picked up when I read it. When I read it, it was easy. It was like, you know how it is if you know a math formula and someone in school is writing off the math formula and they get that number wrong, and you know what number is supposed to go there for them to fix it. That's pretty much what that cabal was to me. It's like I kind of laughed half the time because I was like, okay, they don't know what they're talking about. They still, because you have to realize that these are heathens. So when they got the information from the Nephites, first you have to look at the timeline. The timeline was off. How they were saying there's thousands and thousands and thousands of years, even before Christ appeared. I'm like, whoa, what? Because the second they said the Nephites, that automatically just like pinpointed the time when they were told of this knowledge. So even though it did mention Abraham, it specifically says taught him about the stars and the navigations and stuff. Because you got to realize Abraham only knew the Lord of Hosts. Okay, he only knew of the Lord of Hosts. All right, so we have to come to this understanding. So like before we start, I want everybody to just ground yourself, wash away everything you think you know, and listen to these words, because everything was already in scriptures. You just never noticed what was said. But I'm gonna try to post a bunch of stuff that the words that were said, you should understand what it really means, because it was always telling you. People, a lot of us just didn't understand it. First off, when it says the Nephites came to them with information and knowledge, you have to understand that Nephites. They said the Nephites came from over the fourth part, which was the Americas. You find that information in the Book of Mormon, so you get all of the timelines from the Book of Mormon. You have to understand that right when Yahweh Shah got crucified, that same time, a big dark cloud came over the Americas, and he descended down to them that same hour that he was crucified in Jerusalem, and told them and taught them and went over a bunch of stuff with them that same time. All right, so they got this knowledge, the same knowledge that he taught in Jerusalem about the Father of the All, and the the kingdom that's above the kingdom that we think. He was teaching his disciples all kind of things like the realm of Barbello and all this other stuff that he went over with the Nephites that were here. So during that time, everything, like the information went dark. So I know that this is the time where the Nephites started going back and forth to Africa, or to Jerusalem, or all these other places, trying to do the same thing that the disciples were doing. And of course, they went to Egypt with this knowledge, and they only gave them a seed. Now, these Greeks, these heathens, they're trying to compare this little seed to a big tree, the way they're boasting and gloating about how all of their intellectuals and okay, here, let me this is the bullshit that you literally have to read with these heathens, because it's like and you could tell a heathen wrote this book because they it's still empty, but they put a lot of these words around to make it sound scientific and intellectual. But if your vocabulary is pretty high, you just look at it and say, okay, they're just putting a bunch of fillers in words. They're just putting a bunch of fillers in words. Like, they're literally just putting a bunch of fillers in words that is That doesn't even need to be there. Just say what you have to say. So they're trying to make this book sound philosophical, intellectual, but they only really basically only have one topic. That makes sense. You know, um, they're trying to say that what is this guy named Hermes something. Um, they're trying to say he was the master of masters of all of the Egyptians. He's a Greek guy, obviously. Um, it says here, this says, but among these great masters of ancient Egypt, there once dwelt one of whom masters hailed as the master of masters. This man, if man indeed he was, dwelt in Egypt in the earliest days. He was known as Hermes Trismegistus. As you can tell, this is a Greek name. So obviously they're trying to blast their Greek man above everybody else, of course. He was the father of the occult wisdom, the founder of astrology. You see this bullshit? The discovery of alchemy. Like, what? So, of course, you can see the bones. You just spit it all out. Just spit it all out. It says, long before the days of Moses, I'm going to see the date of his sojourn in Egypt, in that his last incarnation on this planet is not now known, but it has been fixed at the earliest days of the oldest dynasties of Egypt. Long before the days of Moses, the best authorities regard him as a contemporary of Abraham, and some of the Jewish traditions go so far as to claim that Abraham acquired a portion of his mystic knowledge from Hermes himself. Really? Really? As you can see, they're trying to put themselves above everybody else. And of course, with that name, it's a Greek name. So they're trying to throw all these timelines. They're trying to confuse you. Okay? They're trying to confuse you. They screwed up when the second they put in the the name Nephite. When they put that name in there and they said the Nephites came and brought knowledge to them as well, they fucked up. You fucked up, because if you read the Book of Mormon, you know exactly when the Nephites became a big tribe and when they started voyaging back and forth to Africa, back to Egypt, and whatever else place they needed to go to. Okay, so in this Kabbalion book, before I start, let's go into the Star Seed Transmission book. Okay, so I'm in the Star Seed Transmission. I am in chapter 4. It's called an interval of non-time. All right. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is so we can get an understanding of these. Because to understand the Kabbalion, you have to know the Gospel of Thomas. You have to know Secret Book of John, and this information in the Starseed Transmission, also with the Book of Mormon. You put those together and you get the full understanding of what the Kabbalion is really trying to say. This is chapter 4 in Starseed Transmission. Those familiar with the scriptures of your various people should be in position to understand what is occurring, for these are the times spoken of. Yet you must realize that God did not invent the words used in scriptures. He merely arranged them in the order most approximating his meaning. Okay? So when you're reading the scriptures, you have to understand that these were written back in times where knowledge wasn't big. Knowledge was still small. So they didn't really understand space and time. They may have understood the stars, but not above it. They didn't understand nothing over that. The intellectual phase didn't kick in just yet. Alright? It says, words can symbolize this, but hardly portray it fully enough to stand alone. If you would know the deepest truth of Scripture, look not to words alone, but to the great momentum of spirit within your own soul. Okay? I'm gonna go down to 30. What is it? 32. I'll go to book 32. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, this is, I'm trying to ground everything here. All right. So it says here, your real life will begin when the Creator gives you His definition and form. Okay. This Creator, when you're looking at this Starseed transmission, is talking about the Father of the All. Okay, we're going to go over that. This is like a big thing to understand so you can get the concept down for the Kabbalah. Okay, within the womb of history, your species has been primarily defined by the Earth Mother, who is helping to prepare the clay. The Earth Mother. Sometimes you may hear the Earthly Mother term. This is talking about the Holy Spirit. Sometimes they'll say Mother Nature or whatever, but this is the Earth Mother. This is the Holy Spirit. Wisdom, okay? Who is helping to prepare the clay. She is only interested in getting the form arranged according to specification. Her only knowledge of spirit is that it brings forth her potential. When the Father's center merges with the center of the earth, the collectivity of human consciousness will awaken to an unfulfilled identity. You will be born. After that, the influence of matter will not affect your consciousness as dominantly as it did during the historical gestation period. The earth will continue to suckle the species, so to speak, for another millennium. Millennium is just 1,000 years, just so if anybody wants to know, it's just 1,000 years. Once this happens, of course, the children of Israel, they become the head and everybody else becomes the tail. Of course, it says, if you read your scriptures, we will rule for 1,000 years. This is the millennium that they're talking about. All right. The earth will continue to suckle the species, so to speak, for another millennium before you are capable of going off on your own. But even during that period, the Father's influence will be much greater than it is today. Meaning, the Lord will reign. Once, just like in the book of Revelations, and where we become the head and we will rule with a rod of iron and all this other stuff, and everybody will know the Lord. This is that time period. All right. So I'm going to go into the Kabbalion here, but I'm going to go in chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called The All. But before I jump into chapter 4, I want to jump into the Nag Hammadi real quick in the book of Thomas. Okay? The Gospel of Thomas, it says, Yahushua said, "It is I who am the light, which is above them all. It is I who am the all." I'm going to read this again. The Gospel of Thomas. Yahushua said, "It is I who am the light, which is above them all. It is I who am the all. From me did the all come forth, and unto me did the all extend. Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there." I know the last part's kind of confusing. I'm going to help you understand this part. Okay? Come up here. I'm going to use an analogy. All right? The human body. The human body has all these microorganisms inside the body. All right? Now, you are the microorganisms. Everything is inside this human body. That human body is the all. We're inside of the all. We're the microorganisms. We're the stars. We're the different heavens. All of these, we are all inside of this body. And this body is the all. So we are from the all. We are the all because we're inside of the all. Everything inside, everything you're touching is the essence of the all because we are inside of the all. Okay? Where it says the kingdom is inside you. And also, I'm also in the Gospel of Thomas. The God says the kingdom is inside, within you, and all about you. Okay, so everywhere you look is the kingdom. When you hear the word kingdom, I don't want people thinking a castle, a bunch of statues, gold palaces. No, 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 no. Think of a house. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Think of a small box. All right, this small box. Just assume this small box is a kingdom, and everything inside of it means that everything inside of that small box. We're going to call that everything that's inside the kingdom. So the kingdom is inside of something. All right, just like how Yahweh Shah says inside, in my Father's kingdom, there are many mansions, many worlds, many heavens. Inside my Father's kingdom, which we are inside of already, has many mansions. All right, many worlds, many heavens, many things. Because we are inside of him, because this is the all. Okay, I'm not going to read that one. So in the Kabbalah, there's two things that they like to focus and stay on. Oh, before I start, let's just do this. I'm in the Nag Hammadi. Of course, I'm in the Secret Book of John. Secret Book of John has a chapter regarding the Father of the All, so you can understand it in the in the Kabbalah. It's called the One. The reason why these people don't understand the Kabbalah yet, where they think it's still a mystery, is because half of them don't read Scripture, and half of them do not believe that the Father of the All came inside of the body. The Father of the All, who was the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, because he made himself within himself. And he came down into the body of Yahushua, and they don't accept that. So that's why they don't understand the term or the mystery of when it says the all is within the all. They don't understand that. Of course, they're not going to, because they're heathens and they're dumb and they're blind. The only way they'll understand it is if they accept that, if they read these other scriptures and they understood that he is the Alpha and the Omega, and then from the Alpha and the Omega created everything else, and the Alpha and the Omega came down into flesh to teach the chosen disciples about the Father, who is the Father of the All, because they only understood the Lord of Hosts. Why would think about this? Why would he need to teach them about the Lord of Hosts if they already knew about the Lord of Hosts? It doesn't make no sense. Of course it doesn't. Okay. So in the Secret Book of John, there's a chapter within the chapter of the Secret Book of John called the One. And this one, I'm not even gonna sit here and read it. You want to know what that is? You go out there and you read it. You read this chapter where it says the One, then you'll understand this right here. All right. Now in the Kabbalah, there's two things they like to portray as a mystery. One thing is they use this one theory to base all of their scientific inventions off of. It's called the pendulum. The pendulum theory. The pendulum theory is where they think what goes up must come down, what goes left will end up right, and what goes right will end up left. What's hot can get cold. What dies comes back to life and dies again. They believe in this cycle. But there's a flaw to that, to their theory. They don't understand that with this pendulum theory, they think that everything is always going to go up and go back down, go up and go back down, or go left to go back right, go left like a swing. But the one thing they forgot, the one thing they didn't put into their scientific analogy is that the Lord of Hosts holds that pendulum and can stop it whenever he wants to. He can stop that swing when he chooses. Alright? Perfect example where they say when something falls it has to rise again. He says Edom will fall and will never rise again. Guess what, Edom? Your pendulum just got stopped. So someone is holding that pendulum. Everything that you're creating is from the Lord of Hosts' will. He wills it. He allows it because he's allowing your pendulum to swing. So all your creations, you're meant to do all these things. He has the power over you, not this pendulum that you think that goes on an automatic swing. You fucking retards. All right? I'm not even gonna. It's like I sat here and I was reading this. I got bored. I was bored. Like everything they were saying is all theories, all of their assumed planes and numbers and blah 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 blah. You sound like a bunch of children making up imaginary stories. And the reason why I say this is because your eyes haven't seen it, because your eyes are matter. You are matter. You are matter. You are not spiritual. You don't have you have you know you're making these assumptions. It's like I have two stories, but to glorify the story, I'm going to put a bunch of fillers that doesn't make sense, that try to sound confusing and try to boost up these two theories to make it seem like it's very important. It's very occultish. You stop it. You're very simple. And you're and you're empty. Simple and empty. Simple and empty. Alright? Of course, you got this one seed from the Nephite, and yeah, you managed to do this much with just a seed. It was just one seed. It's just one seed. Alright, but you're trying to compare this one seed that you have to this grand tree that the children of Israel have. You can't. You don't. You can't do it. I'm sorry. You just can't. So stop all of this nonsense, these delusions that you have. It's very simple. Alright? You can't understand the ways, like if you read Second Ezra, where it says, count for me the raindrops. You know, if you're trying to understand the stuff in the stuff in spirit, but you can't even understand the stuff that's in matter, you stop your shit. Alright? Now, the Father of the All here is pretty much the one and only big topic in the Kabbalah. Alright? It's I want to sit here and read all this. I'm just going to read some of it, but it's just this one thing that they want to. It's kind of good that it's here, because now it's proof. If you listen to my other videos where I was trying to explain about the Father of the All, you might want to go look at that video, because that's pretty much the Kabbalah all in one. You know, all these other little side fillers, we already know these things already. It's like the children, the ones who know scriptures, the ones who awaken, who understand this. We already know these little fillers. But the one thing that I know a lot of them don't really understand is the Father of the All. You have to understand the Father of the All, because you are inside of the Father of the All. All right. This is the Father. This is the one that's above everything, even above the Lord of Hosts. It's above everything. It's above everything. All right. This is the Father. This is the Most High. This is the Father of the All. This is that one. This is He. Would you listen? If you read the Quran, which I read the Quran. Boring shit ever to read. The Quran is pretty much like a indoctrination book, where it wants to indoctrinate you. So they re-say a word over and over and over and over to hypnotize you, but they say a bunch of other dumb shit. Then they always refer back to this one phrase over and over and over to fuck with your mind. But they still understand the concept of the Father of the All. This is who they call the Allah. This is their Allah. This is their who knows everything, who is everywhere, who you can't hide from, who knows all. This is the Father, but they don't have a really grasp concept of it yet. But they at least have an idea. The Christians, they pulled this out of all the books, so they replaced this Father of the All with their own God, which is confusing everybody else, because some of our people still, they're awakened, but they still want to use some of the foundations of these heathens and their fake God, and they're still trying to formulate something from this bad seed when they need to throw it away. But then when you use the righteous seed, the right seed, they call you bugged out. And I don't waste my time with them. I ignore them. I don't even bother with them. I don't even bat an eye. I just keep doing what I'm doing. And they're not going to waste my time. They're not. All right. Back to this. The Father of the All here. It's the only way you'll understand it is if you're willing to understand it. If you're willing to say, "Hey, let me just read it and see what this says," and if you can't accept it, even though it's in everything else, even the little phrases that Yahweh said, it goes back to this. Is she's giving you parables to help you understand what these are. But back then, the words he was saying, they didn't understand because they wasn't educated yet. All right. Let's see. Chapter 4, the All. Under and back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found. The substantial reality, the fundamental truth, the Kabbalion. Blah. Mobama jumbo. Substance means that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing in itself. The substantial means actually existing being, the essential element, being real. Reality means the state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent. You see all this boring shit? Blah, 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 blah. Blah. You know what I think? They try to bore you, to hide those who are not willing to sit there and deal with their regurgitation bullshit to get to the real meat. So you have to fight through it. If you're listening to the Kabbalah, just fight through it. I know. Just fight through it. You sit there and just wait for the meat to come out, because they have a lot of bones of bullshit and words to bore you, to make you say, they want to put it down. But everything, once you wait and have patience, then you get the real meat. So after all the bullshit that I had to wait through, all the bullshit that I had to wait to is oh wait, before I start this, where is it? Did I pull it out? There was something that I had here. Was it 14? Chapter 14. It was chapter 16. Okay. I want to read chapter 16 with you. I'm sorry, page 16 in the Starseed transmission. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Alright, it says, I'm in chapter 2, the reality. Okay, so I'm in page 16. It says, as I search, this is the spirit that's talking to this guy. It says, as I searched your symbol storage systems for a word with which to express something of the reality in which you exist as one with your creator, I come across the American Indian word Nagul. It is a term which you understand to mean everything that cannot be named. Father of the All. That is a good word for the region of being, the region of unity. I will use this word for a moment to emphasize a point. In the pre-fall state of awareness, you existed in the Nagul, the All, the everything, the nothing, the primal void where all exist in a state of potential. This is the creator that surrounds creation. We're the creation, and this is the creator. We are the microorganisms, and he is the body. The all is within the all. That was so easy to understand. I was like, why are they having a hard time trying to figure out that what? That wasn't hard at all to figure out. What's so complicated about it? It was so easy. It was boring. It was boring. Oh my God, it was boring. I just sat there. And I sat there, and I went through all this, and I'm like, it wasn't exciting. It was just boring words that had no bites. It was just, I call them fillers. They were fillers. Like, you're trying to create a movie, but there's no actors, so you put in these dolls to make the movie interesting. They were boring fillers. Okay. There's only two concepts that I got from this whole book: the pendulum, where they base all their scientific creation and their scientific worlds off of, and the all, which they still don't understand yet. So from what I see where the world stand at now, everything is more focused on the pendulum theory. All right, and they tried to make this book into some scientific stuff, and that's where they fall apart at, because it's not scientific at all. You're trying to grasp this notion in the law of matter, which you can't. It doesn't fit. It's not going to fit inside your little world of restraint. It's not going to happen. So this is why, if anyone who's reads the Kabbalah or who's trying to understand it, you're not going to understand it that way, so you have to stop. You're hurting yourself. You're gonna bust a brain vessel or some shit. I don't fucking know. Just stop it. So, I'm sorry, let me continue. It says, in the pre-false state of awareness, you existed in the Nagul, the all, the everything, the nothing, the primal void where all exists in a state of potential. That this is the creator that surrounds creation, like the sea surrounds a fish. Oh, that's a good analogy. Like the sea surrounds the fish. Where the fish, the all is the sea. Where the so-called planet, the all is outside of the stars in space. The space that we call space is inside of the all. Out of this Nagul, you are called many times to dwell for the space of a relationship and its opposite. Okay, I'm not gonna go through that part, because if I start saying these, it's gonna lose. I'm gonna lose y'all, because some people who's listening, they're not there yet. So I'm not even gonna go there. I just wanted to help understand this all in this Kabbalah. The Kabbalah just pretty much is introducing the Father. Past all the bullshit bones. It's not exciting. It's not on no grand scale. The only grand scale is the notion of the Father of the all. And once you understand that this is the Most High, then you'll understand all the parables Yahushua was saying. Because Yahushua, like I mentioned in my other videos, there were three spirits inside that body. It was the Alpha and the Omega, who is the Father of the all. It was the living Son, which is the living Son of the Lord of Hosts. And then it was one of the elect, which was one of our people, which was one of our spirits. There were three of them. Here, perfect example. Let me show you. I'm in the Gospel of Thomas, right? What is this? Verse 15, and it says, "When you see one who was not born of woman fall on your face and worship, that is your Father." Okay, now this apparently to me is either this Yahushua from the Lord of Hosts, or the other spirit. But they were saying when he shows up in that body, you bow down and you show yourself. You bow down and you bow down and you worship this guy. Okay. It says, let me see. There's a precept for it here. For John 10:30. All right, so I'm going to go to John chapter 10, verse 30, and it says here, I and my Father are one. This is the Alpha and Omega. This is the Father of the All, who created Himself within Himself, and He's in the the Son of the Living One said, when you see this one, you bow down and you worship, because when He shows Himself to you from this body, you bow down and you praise. This is why a lot of times where they say, and when Jesus appeared, when he appeared all through the New Testament, you hear He appeared. He appeared in the body, because they were switching. They were. It was like three of them. Three of them were possessing it at a time. So when the Father of the All, the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, appeared, then they'll say He appeared. All right. Understand this. The scriptures, they introduce two beings that are for the children of Israel. The Old Testament, the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the Lord Sabaoth. And then you have the Father of the All in the New Testament. Lord of hosts, Old Testament, Father of the All, New Testament. Okay? Alright, now where was I? It's like, it's I don't want to, I really don't want to read all of this. I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. Because it's trying to explain to y'all what the Father of the All is, and the idea and the notion of it. But you can find them also in the Nag Hammadi. The Nag Hammadi tells you more than what the Kabbalah is telling you. So to me, I felt like the Kabbalah was just a waste of time to me. It was another Quran book that I just tossed to the side, and was just like, what a waste of my time. I'm sorry, it was a waste of my time. It was telling me things I already knew. I thought I was looking for something that I didn't know. I have this crazy hunger for new things to learn in this field, and the Kabbalah didn't have anything for me. All it had was a bunch of blind children running around with one sword that they were given from the Nephites, and they tried to glamorize this sword with a bunch of other bullshit. That's what I got from it. I would rather it be written from one of our people. That way, it would have more meat in it for me. This here didn't even. I was like, okay, this meat is good, because it's another way to show people, to help people understand the Father, and to understand the parables of Yahushua, which is good. So I would say I would put this with the Nag Hammadi under the Secret Book of John, where it's describing the Father of the All. But that's about it. So I don't know how they're gonna when they're this little mystery that they still haven't solved, or they still haven't understood or figured out. Let me see if I can read it to you. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me bypass all this other crap here. Blah 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 blah. Okay, let me see. In conclusion, let us again call your attention. Hold on. The wise ones serve on the higher, but rule on the lower. They obey the laws coming from above them, but on their own plane, and those below them they rule and give orders, and yet, in so doing, they form a part of the principle, instead of opposing it. The wise man falls in with the law, and by understanding its movements, he operates it instead of being its blind slave. Just as does the skilled swimmer turn this way and that way, going and coming as he will, instead of being as the log which is carried here and there, so is the wise man. as compared to the ordinary man, and yet both swimmer and log, wise man and fool, are subject to the law, of course. But he who understands this well on the road to mastery, the Kabbalion. But see, again, you gotta remember these are heathens who still trying to understand this concept, which they really can't. So they're using this law as something that is bound by earth, but they don't understand that it's a spiritual law. All right. Um, I'm trying to find where they're trying to figure out they call this a riddle. I don't know why they call it a riddle. They call it a riddle. They say they're trying to understand the notion when it says the all is within the all, but they just can't get it. Okay, for those who do study the Kabbalah, like I said, let me help you understand that the all is within the all is him being with inside of himself, which is the Alpha and the Omega, because he is the all. They're stupid asses. They said the all cannot project himself within himself. What? Then what does the all is within the all even means? In how the hell are you gonna say the all can't project himself within himself? You know, half the stuff I laughed at, and I was just like these little blind children. That's how I felt. I was just like, I said, okay, I'm just gonna stop. The Father of the all is the Father Yahweh Shai was talking about. We still have the Lord of Hosts, but we also have the Father of the all, who is the Father of everything. Okay, the Father of everything. I don't know what else I can say. And you know what? I'm not gonna read it. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna, because it's you like I said, you'll get more from the Nag Hammadi regarding the Father of the all than this book. All right, they're just trying to glamorize what little knowledge they have. Like, I'm gonna read off. So this is the table of content. Let's listen to this shit. The Hermetic philosophy, bullshit. The 7 Hermetic principles: the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect. This is their pendulum right here, the cause and effect. Where's it at? What's that? Chapter 6. This is their pendulum shit. This is their pendulum. Alright, I fucking and this is where they base their good. Chapter 7 here. The all in the all. While all is in the all, it is equally true that the all is in all. To who truly understands this truth had come great knowledge. But they still don't understand what it really means, because it'll tell you that they're still trying to figure it out. But anyway, the cause and effect, that's their pendulum theory. That's where they base all their scientific knowledge and like the law of gravity, what goes up must come down. That's their principle theory. This is their pendulum theory. This is where they get their foundation from. All right, all a waste of fucking time. All a waste of fucking time. Mental transmutation, you don't know nothing about, because you're still in the body, you're still in the flesh. So everything that you're in the flesh with, you are bound. You are bound. There's boundaries you cannot pass because you are in the flesh. That's so. All of this is words, but you don't understand them. Like when it says rhythm and vibration, you don't understand what it means by rhythm and vibration. You have to be in sync with the Father of the all to understand and to even show this kind of stuff. So it's like it's you're just saying these words. They're like empty words. I hate reading heathen books. It drives me crazy because it's just so empty. It's like you're like, what are you talking about? And it's not that I don't know what you're talking about. It's just that I see that you're going the wrong way. I see that you're just bleh. You're like you're just making up shit along the way. That's how I felt. And I'm like, no, 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 get back over here. It's over here. What are you doing down the road? But anyway, I hope I this wasn't a spiritual teaching or anything like that. I just wanted to go over the Cabal all in one. So, like the awakening, some of the stuff. This might be just a revised version, but when we hear certain words, we know what they mean, especially to the awakened ones. So it's nothing new. It's the only thing new in this book that you may not have processed yet is the Father of the All notion, is which is the God of all. It's not Yahweh. It's greater than that. It's greater than all of that. This is the Father of everything, the Father of the trees, the Father of the plants, the Father of matter, the Father of spirit, the Father of everything. This is what this is. And we are inside of his kingdom, which is inside of him. And if you can't understand that, then you're just not ready yet. It's not for you. You're just not there yet. You're still a baby tree, and you still need to grow some more. You're not there yet. Alright? I'm sorry. It's just not for you. If you're saying no, I refuse to let the notion go of the Lord of Hosts is that one God over all the things, then you are just not ready yet. You're just not there. You have a long way to go. There's nothing I can do for you. But for the ones who are close and who understands that they are in the Father of the All, then you understand the world, ma'am, sir. You understand the world. You understand the spirit. Alright? Shalom.